Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 257. We all should strive to be Anthony Rizzo. I'm Nick, and I'm solo at the moment. Harrison is still in Disney. He had a show that ran late, so he might pop on here in the middle of the show. Don't know, but we have some news to cover. So help me out in the chat. Anything you guys want to bring up, definitely let me know and we'll bring it into the show. But we will get into all of the stuff that has happened over the weekend. First, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Dick's Sporting Goods, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials. So if you do any shopping with these companies, please do it through our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the pod. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. So if you search Rounding Third Baseball on Etsy, you can find sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, phone cases, whole bunch of stuff on there. Just another great way to get some Rounding Third swag and to support the show. And also, this is the exciting part that we've been really pushing lately is Patreon. So if you follow us on Patreon, you can join for free, but if you become a paid member, it comes with a lot of perks. It will be with merch. We'll have exclusive watch parties with just the members. And it's just a great way and a great platform for all of us to sit and talk baseball whenever we want. It's just a nice little community that we're trying to build there, away from Facebook and all of that stuff. So just a great way to kind of combine everybody into one spot and talk about the game we all love. So we are looking forward to continuing to build that Patreon community. Thanks, Cap. And you guys had my back last time when Harrison was out for a couple of months, and I don't expect anything different from you guys. You guys are incredible, so appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. Anthony Rizzo, this was absolutely incredible. First the news comes out that he's retiring as a Cub, and the picture of this jersey with all the autographs of all the kids that he has visited over the years, visiting a hospital and the kids with cancer. I thought was absolutely incredible. And it's just something that Anthony Rizzo has done throughout his entire career. The off the field stuff that this guy does, continues to do, and did when he was a player, is remarkable. And that's what every player, for me, should strive to be. Absolutely incredible story. But I mean, the story doesn't stop there with this kid. This is absolutely incredible. So he throws out the first pitch in this jersey, and then he goes and sits in the bleachers for the game. And Moises Ballesteros is the first career home run is hit straight to Anthony Rizzo. Stands up on the bleachers, hits the guy right in the palm, and loses it to the guy in the row behind him. And the announcers asked him in the booth later, how did he miss it? And he goes, "That's why I'm retired," which I thought was just absolutely hilarious. But what are the chances that he goes and sits in the bleachers and the first ball is hit directly at him? It's absolutely wild. The Cubs did this upright. Yeah, you are not kidding, Captain, for sure. And yeah, Brian, Rizzo it's what every MLB player should be. You have that platform. You're in the public eye, and you are an idol to so many people. And you should be giving back to the community in my eyes. And he's just absolutely incredible with everything he's done. Yeah, Brian, it's not a weird question, but our streams stay on our page for quite a while, so you can find them there. But yeah. Oh, Carl, you were at the game. That's really, really cool. That's awesome. That must have been incredible to see. Yeah, what a great game. But I can't believe he dropped that home run ball. It was, man, absolutely incredible. But just a cool moment. I mean, it's a great way to celebrate, bring back 2016 and the Cubs World Series run, and Rizzo being a huge part of that. But I just love this guy. He is one of my favorite players because of that reason. Always had fun with the game. Never saw him upset. He just played the game the correct way. and did all the off-field stuff that you're supposed to, in my eyes. Um, just absolutely incredible. Wow, drove 4.5 hours each way to go see it. Yeah, I mean, that's a game you're not gonna miss, right? I mean, there's certain games that if you can get to, you're gonna get to them. Um, yeah, that incredible. That's absolutely awesome. So, but yeah, so Anthony Rizzo retires. Cubs did it right. He did it right. The whole game with him dropping the home run ball was just incredible. Just icing on the cake right there for sure with Anthony Rizzo. So pretty dang cool. All right. Let's move on to Patrick Bailey. This is absolutely nuts. So he hits another walk-off grand slam Friday night. Becomes the fourth player ever to hit two walk-off grand slams in the same season. The last was Steve Pearce in 2017, and Steve Pearce did it in 3 days. He did two in 3 days. Um, Patrick Bailey hits the inside the park walk-off grand slam, left-handed earlier in the season, and then he gets up right-handed, hits the walk-off grand slam Friday night. Don't look now, but the San Francisco Giants are in the playoff race. Like, what the heck? They came out of nowhere, it seemed. We Harrison and I were counting them out. We thought they were done. How are the San Francisco Giants still in this playoff race? I don't know, but we'll get to it in a little bit. But I mean, this could be it. Maybe there's something special there. Maybe they have figured it out. But yeah, he has what, 6 homers? Yeah, I don't know exactly how many home runs Patrick Bailey has, but it doesn't matter when two of them are walk-off grand slams. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, you hit it right on the head. He's got 6 home runs. That's crazy. And two of them are walk-off grand slams. Wild. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Oracle Park is what I need to get to. Oracle Park. The furthest west I've been is Denver. West Coast is going to be a little tricky for me to get to. I can't wait to get out there. But yeah, I am looking forward to that one. I've heard everyone say that Oracle Park is absolutely incredible. So yeah, Mike, hold on to this thought. Both playoff races are going to be insane. And we'll get to it. I have it coming up for sure. There's a lot of teams that are trying to quote unquote screw the pooch. I agree. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm just going to kind of go through the headlines, and then we can go all out on the playoff races because it's going to be wild. So we will get there. But yeah, two walk-off grand slams, same season, fourth player ever in Major League Baseball history to do it in the same season. Pretty cool. And who knows, Giants could be there. But yeah, and it's not that the Giants got back into it. It's the Mets will do Mets thing. That is also helping matters some for sure. All right, Quinn Priester, franchise record 12 consecutive starts with a victory. Great trade by the Sox, huh? Yeah, I wasn't high on this trade when they traded him to Milwaukee. It seemed like they just kind of got rid of him quick. I don't really know why. But Brewers clinch. Brewers are in the playoffs. I don't really know how I feel about the Brewers still. I said last show I think they are the best all-around team going forward right now, or in MLB right now. They just seem to be complete on both sides of the ball. They do all the small things. They take the extra bases. But their playoff track record is not great. And that's where I kind of have reservations about the Brewers. I just don't know if that team will show up in the playoffs. It will be really interesting to see. But the Brewers are in, the Phillies are in. They are the only two teams that have clinched so far. So yeah, but 12 consecutive starts with a victory is pretty dang impressive. So great for him. Yeah, they'll get swept in the NLDS. I mean, I can see that. That's the Brewers' track record. I don't know if swept, but they seem like they just can't get past that round, and they haven't for a long time. And Mike, you're right. Got to give credit to the Brewers unlocking him for sure. Yeah, maybe they did find something, and he's dealing. And sometimes that happens. We've talked to minor league players We've talked to other players on the show, and they say they get to another organization and they see something in their swing, they see something in their pitching mechanics, and it quote unquote it unlocks them. Um, and the Brewers are a good team. I'm not trying to discredit the Brewers at all. I think they're a great team, but I'm not sold on the track record. I think the track record for me stands out. Depending on how good they are in the regular season, that doesn't mean anything when you get to the playoffs. So for me, I'm not completely buying the Brewers. I would love to, but I don't think I can completely buy them. Um, yeah, Captain, they're the only team that has a chance at 100 wins. Yep. So I mean, we'll see. But again, they're in the playoffs. 100 wins doesn't mean anything. Once postseason hits, once the start of the postseason hits, it don't matter what your record is. You can be 161-1, and if you lose in the first time you play in the playoffs, you're done. So regular season record doesn't do anything. Not like it did back in the day when if you had the best record in the American League, you went to the World Series. Best record in the National League, went to the World Series. Like those days are done. Just got to win enough games to get into that last wild card spot, and you can win the whole thing. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure about the Brewers, but yeah. Yeah, Craig Counsell in Chicago now, so don't have to worry about that factor this time around. But I mean, they did lose to the Mets last year, and those Pat Murphy was there. Do I think I like Pat Murphy better than Craig Counsell? Yeah, I do. I do like Pat Murphy. I think the club likes Pat Murphy better. It seems like he's more of a glue guy, a clubhouse guy. I don't know if you guys saw the video going around today of him reading the letter that Bob Uecker wrote before the season if they clinched the playoffs, and wishing the guys good luck, not bad luck, sorry, wishing the guys good luck in the playoffs. And obviously had some jokes in there, but that video is awesome. If you can go back there and see it. It's a pretty cool video. But I mean, Murphy was there last year and they gave it up to the Mets. They were in the driver's seat in that series and in that last game. And then, good old Pete Alonso comes up and, puts that to rest real quick. But yeah, I get that teams have a track record, but there is a lot of new blood there. And you're right, Captain, that is fair. Adames is gone. They have a lot of young kids that are playing for something. That's a great point. And they do have enough veterans that are back and they're healthy that they are steering that team in the right direction. So I'm with you. I think the new blood is great there in Milwaukee. I just hope it's enough because I am pulling for them. I want to see them win. I want to see them win. I want to see the Mariners win. Teams that have not been there, I want to see them get a crack at the World Series. But we'll see. I just don't know. In a 3-game series, Woodruff, Peralta, and Mizorowski, I mean, you got to start them, I would think. I don't. But I don't think they'd have to play the 3-game series, right? If they get the first round bye because of the best record, I don't think they would have to. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, wild card teams will be in the World Series this year. I don't disagree with that. That possibly could be a thing. I mean, we're seeing it more and more that wild card teams are making it to the World Series, and there is something to say about that break. Right, those teams that have been playing, all 30 teams play every night, and then when the playoffs roll around, you give the first round team, the teams with the best record that first round bye, and they kind of lose their groove, and you see them kind of stumble coming back into the playoffs in the next series. So, I think that's a thing. I think baseball will address that when the expansion comes out. So all teams are kind of playing at the same time and there is no buys. But I kind of agree with that point, Brian. Yeah, Priester's no Jamie Moyer. That is that is facts. But Yeah, and this is a great point. Giants had 106 a couple of years ago. That team kind of came out of nowhere, had over 100 wins. They were rolling, made it to the playoffs, lost a wild card game, done. That's it. Um, yeah, and agree. Kind of what I just said. The wild card is actually a better path. Um, it's incredible. Yeah, the letter from Bob was great. I'm glad you saw it, Captain. Yeah, it was really really cool. The polar bear broke Devin Williams. Yep. This is a fair point, Carl. So I mean, we have kind of seen it the last few starts with Mizorowski. Is he is very young. I mean, made the All-Star team after 5 starts, which was crazy. We talked about that on the show as well. Um, but does the moment get too big for him? Do teams get the book on him? Like I said, his last few starts have been a little bit on the rocky side because teams are starting to get his tendencies. Can Mizorowski make an adjustment? But yeah, our last 5, we've gone. So his last start was the 13th. That was yesterday. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 of them earned, 4 strikeouts, gave up 2 home runs. The start before that, he went 7 against Pittsburgh. So say what you want. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 8 Ks. Faced the Phillies. He went 4 1/3, gave up 3 runs, had 4 Ks. Arizona went 5 innings. The Cubs went 4. So not very lengthy starts other than that one against Pittsburgh. They're all 5 innings or less. So I mean that's a really good point, Carl. That could come back to bite them in the playoffs. And if he doesn't make an adjustment, the Brewers don't make an adjustment. Um, he could be in trouble. Now, these guys, we've talked about it. Major league hitters can time up a bullet. It doesn't matter if you throw 103. These guys can time it up, square it up, and hit it 4 miles. Um, you got to have secondary stuff to keep them off balance. So, yeah, I'm with you. Don't teams with a first round bye have a losing record overall since of the new format? Well, I don't understand that question. Don't teams with first round bye have a losing record overall? I don't know. I I don't understand quite what you're asking there. I'm pretty sure it's the teams that have the best overall record in each league have the bye, or the top two, I think. So Giants Royals World Series. I mean, possibly, but I think the Royals are out now. I mean, not officially, obviously, but I don't think they are in this thing. I mean, they are 10 back. They're 4.5. Yeah, they're like 6.5 games out, but I don't think the Royals get there. Yeah, taking 4 to 5 days off is crazy. I'm with you. It's especially when you're used to playing every night. So the Colorado Rocky side are not that bad. Not quite that bad, but good. Red Sox hung on for the win. That's a little shaky there, but um, I don't disagree with this one either. His usage would be late inning reliever in the playoffs. Miz is talented as hell, but I don't trust him for more than 3. Yeah, and that's fair. Maybe you use him as long relief, or maybe you use him for a high leverage situation later in the game. That's a good point, Carl. Maybe that's how they go about using him. Um, I don't know. You got a little bit of flexibility because you got Woodruff and Peralta at the top that are gonna anchor that rotation in the playoffs. We'll see what they do after that. Um, oh, gotcha. Okay, I'm picking up what chat. Okay, I got you. Yeah, losing record in the playoffs after clinching the bye. Yes, gotcha. Yeah, I mean the last few years it's been what the Orioles. They had the bye and then they're done. 2 years in a row. Um, yeah, teams just don't do well coming out of that bye, and I'm surprised that hasn't been addressed yet, to be honest. And it might come up in the new CBA. I don't know. They have a lot of things they need to cover, so not sure on that. But yeah, sorry about the confusion on that, Chad. Thanks for clearing that up, Carl. Yeah, definitely. Um, Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you're in a routine for 162 games, right? Besides the All Star break's your biggest break, but all teams get that break. You go into the playoffs and you're rolling, then all of a sudden the league's like, hey, take a 5-day break and then we'll start up your playoff series. It's hard to get back into it, right? And you can do inter squad games, you can do live at bats, you can do all of that stuff. It's not the same. As somebody that played a fairly high level of college ball, inter squad games don't do it. They are not game reps. Is it as close to it as you can get? Yeah, it is. But it's still not the same as game pressure. I agree. But all right. Zach Cole homers on the first pitch of his career, joining 59 other MLB players to ever do so. The last one was Big Christmas in June of 2024. So joins a pretty elite list. I mean, it's still crazy. 59 people have done it in there for their major league career, homer on the first pitch they've seen. But pretty incredible. But just another Astros guy that's going to come up, possibly make a difference. But we will see. Yeah. Carl, I played college ball in Maine. St. Joseph's College is where I played. So it was a D3 school. I played with some really good guys that actually ended up going D1. Working to actually get him on the show because he got drafted by the Tigers after he transferred to LSU. But there were some guys even in D3 that could bring it. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, played a small college in Maine. That's where I met Harrison. But yeah, I played third, second base, and first base there. So, yep. Yeah, right. Shows how old baseball is when you hear a stat like that. Yeah, absolutely. But pretty cool. I mean, nothing like I don't know if you can top that. I mean, maybe a grand slam like Daniel Nava on the first pitch of your career. But you homer on the first pitch of your career, it's got to be a pretty big high. That's remarkable. Pretty awesome. And then John Carter sent me this one. This one is really cool. So kind of bringing up the main reference here again. Cody Lawyerson, first player in MLB since Ryan Flaherty from the state of Maine. So he's from a small town called Bingham. And granted, all towns in Maine are small, so I'm just going to tell you all that. But yeah, the Twins just called him up. So pretty cool. Um, we don't have a huge list of major leaguers to come out of Maine, but it's awesome to finally start to see these guys get recognized because we have talent in Maine. Like we have a lot of baseball talent up there. And yes, the 4-season facilities for these guys are getting better as well. It's a lot different than when I was growing up. There's more availability to play baseball year round in the cold weather states. But New England baseball is its own animal altogether. It is miserable. It is cold. It is hard. But for this kid to get to the show is pretty exciting for the state. But before Ryan Flaherty and Charlie Furbush, who I was just talking about a little bit ago that I played with, were the last two before that to get to the show. So it's been quite a while. Ryan Flaherty came up in I can't remember when he came up. It's been a while. 2012. Um, he's now a coach with the Padres. I think still he might be somewhere else now, but yeah, Flaherty played for Baltimore, Atlanta, and then Cleveland for a year, and he's with the Padres right now. So pretty cool. But like I said, finally awesome to see recognition coming out of the state of Maine because there are kids that can throw the ball and kids that can hit it for sure. So pretty awesome. All right. Here we go, Mariners fans. Put this one in for you because these guys are hot. Holy cow. 9 straight. And it's somebody different every night. I am hooked on this team. Captain and John Temple have me watching these guys every night. Um, I have I've been watching a lot more Mariners than I have Red Sox games lately. Um, but it's really nice that I can watch the Red Sox and then flip over to the Mariners most nights. Whew, sorry, little cough in there. But yeah, so it's nice. Red Sox game gets over, and then I kind of flip over to the Mariners game, and it's pretty incredible. It is somebody new. They had their rookie there, Harry Ford, gets the sac fly to walk off on the Astros last week. Josh Naylor with a crazy at bat last night. It was like 11 pitch at bat, and then trickles one through the right side, drives into. Um, Cal Raleigh ties Mickey Mantle for the most single season home runs by a switch hitter. Um, Brian Wu goes out and deals again. He gets a career high 12 strikeouts. And just mowing guys down. This team is fun to watch. Absolutely, Cap, and I'm with you. The Mariners are fun again. We'll kind of get into where they stack up against the rest of the league here in a little bit, but right now, if they can keep this momentum going, no one's going to want to go into Seattle and face them, or no one's going to want them to come to their ballpark and face them either, because it is somebody different every night that is beating you. Earlier in the season, you could argue with Julio struggling a little bit. You could argue that you could pitch around Cal and get this lineup out. They had stretches where they were crazy hot. Don't get me wrong, but you could pitch around Cal and be okay. Now you can't really do that. Randy gets crazy hot. Julio's been way better down the stretch here. The additions of Naylor and Suarez just make that lineup so much deeper, so much longer, and it makes them incredible. I agree. They are a blast to watch. The pitching staff is crazy. I haven't even mentioned the bullpen. The bullpen's only given up like one run in like 2 weeks or something like that. Um, and it was like last night on a solo shot when the game was already in hand. Um, I think these guys could have it if they can stay hot. They can keep rolling. They have the pitching staff to do it. They have the lineup to do it. They play tremendous defense. I mean, Josh Naylor with picks. J.P. Crawford is incredible. Suarez is no slouch on at third. They got the arms in the outfield. I I think this Mariners team is going to be dangerous in the playoffs. Um, I like it. I like them. The Mariners deserve a World Series. They have a great fan base. Yeah, I mean, we talk about it every week. The fans on this show are so loyal. The Mariners fans are incredible. They're not like me and Harrison Red Sox fans where we like to call ourselves like realistic Red Sox fans where like we'll criticize them when they're doing poorly, and probably too harsh on them at times. Um, Maybe it's rightly criticized. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is, us just overreacting. Um, but the way you guys talk about the Mariners on a weekly basis is incredible. And the Mariners deserve a shot to win a World Series. I'm with you there. And getting hot at the right time. Astros are struggling right now as well. Yeah, it's absolutely. This is the time of year. I think Dan Wilson said it last night. He's like, this is where we want to be. We want to be playing well at this time of year. Like, we don't want to have to try to figure stuff out right now. Like, these guys are hungry. They're playing well. We just got to keep our foot on the gas and keep going. But it also helps when these guys are all clicking, and they want to play with each other, which is incredible. It's hard to get teams that for 162 genuinely like to be around people. So good for the Mariners. Mike, I'm with you. Don't want to face that rotation in a short series. No, nope, I don't. If Boston somehow stays in the wild card race, I don't want to see Seattle. I don't. I really don't. Boston has their own troubles. We'll get to them too. Um, but I don't think any team is comfortable facing Seattle in the playoffs at this moment. I No way. No thanks. All set. No thank you. No thank you. But um As a Mariners fan, I let people know what they need to hear, not what they think they should hear. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point, John. Love that. Um, yeah. All right. Let's get over to the Yankees. I don't really think this is much of a surprise, but 33 consecutive years with a winning record. I mean, it's a pretty remarkable streak in a game that has so much parity. And as hard as it is for me to bring it up as a Red Sox fan, this is crazy. Since 1992, they have a winning record every year. 33 consecutive years is wild. Now, it's a lot of things. It's a front office doing what needs to be done to put a competitive team out there. Now, granted, they haven't won a World Series in what, 20 years, something like that. So, I mean, still doesn't matter. You're still putting competitive teams out there year after year after year. And that's why the Yankees are the Yankees, and they always will be. So even on years that you don't think they got it, like, I mean, Harrison and I weren't overly high on them this year. If they stayed healthy, yeah, they were the front runners. And then they got hurt, and we're like, well, I don't know. But somehow they still find ways to win every night. But 33 years is wild. Yeah, that's still impressive as much as it pains me to say. Yeah. And yes, I mean the Yaden Hankies for sure, Captain. Yep. Oh yeah, 16 years. It was 2009, right? 2009 was the last one. Sorry. But the 70s were trash, I hear, but I digress. Yeah. I mean, it still has, I mean, over the 100 years, past 100 years, the Yankees have been the dynasty. There's nothing like it. But 33 years is a wild stretch. Nuts. It kills the Red Wings had of 25, I believe. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know anything about hockey other than I love watching it. I know the rules. I don't know much about like the stats and stuff behind hockey. So I'll take your word for it, John. But yeah, 15-year title drought, but for the Yankees might as well be 100, and you aren't kidding. And it probably feels like 100 to that front office. Now, my question to you guys, though, Yankees winning record, they make the playoffs. Say they win a first round, they get bounced in the second. They don't get back to the World Series. Do they finally depart with Aaron Boone? Now, I know they don't fire people usually, and I think they extended him till 2029, I want to say, or 2028. Let me look that up real quick. Through 2027. Through 2027. So do they say thanks but no thanks, or do they keep him there? I don't know. And Mike, I agree with this. Cashman should go first. We've been calling it for years. But I mean, it's hard to fire somebody when he can just throw back in your face like, "Hey, I've brought you 33 consecutive years with a winning record." I mean, kind of hard to depart with that and that kind of consistency. Yated Hanky says no. Yeah. I don't know why they haven't yet, but that said, I don't think they do, and I think I'm with you there, Captain. There was a stretch, I think, not last year, the year before. I mean, he was getting tossed every other game. The Yankees were playing like garbage. No one seemed to be playing for him. Looking from the outside in, just didn't seem like the Yankees were clicking. And we're like, Boone has to be gone, right? How can you keep him around? It doesn't even look like these guys are playing for him anymore. They stuck with him. They fired the rest of the coaching staff, but they kept Aaron Boone for him to pick his own guys again. So I don't know. So, Captain, I'm with you. I'm with you 1,000% here. I don't know why they haven't, but that said, I don't think they do. think they'll probably ride out the contract, depending on what happens this postseason, next year, and maybe 2027. Maybe they just ride it out to the lockout. Well, that's if we play baseball in 2027. And then they just say, thank you for your years of service, but we're moving on. But again, you keep going back to, you can point to that 33 consecutive years with a winning record and be like, why are you firing me? We're constantly in it. Yeah. So he is Cashman's guy. So until his job is in jeopardy, a move won't get made. And that's fair. With that checkbook, there shouldn't be any reason not to make the playoffs. I mean, agree, but you can look at the Dodgers too. I mean, injuries are a big part of that, right? You take Garrett Cole out of that rotation, it's a whole different team. You have Max Fried has been incredible. He has had a great year. His start was rocky. He has found it, and he is dealing. Max Fried was an incredible signing for the Yankees. Imagine if they still had Garrett Cole in front. Now we're talking about the premier team in the AL, I think. As good as the Tigers are with Skubal, and they, dodged a bullet there with Skubal. He's making his next start after being lifted. You put Garrett Cole back in that rotation, this team is tough, real tough. They have 7 guys that have 20 home runs plus. I mean, say what you want about the short porch, but still, you got to hit them. It's wild. John thinks they're out in the first round. I think they could be. All depends on their matchup. But we'll see. And Mike Reed, this is also a very fair point. They measure by World Series, though. You're not wrong. And maybe that's what happens. He did buy some more time last year getting to the World Series. They got manhandled by the Dodgers. That series was not as close as I thought it was going to be. But I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with that point, Mike, at all. All right. Here we go, fellas and ladies and gentlemen. Here is the AL playoff race as it stands right now. We got the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and the Mariners sitting in first place. That's right. The Seattle Mariners have overtaken first place for the first time since June. Absolutely incredible. So that leaves the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Astros sitting in the wild card spots with the red-hot Texas Rangers 2 games back and the Guardians somehow still hanging on 2.5 games back. How are we feeling about these teams? Which ones do you think have a possibility of falling out? Which team do you think could possibly come into the AL wild card? What are you guys feeling about this race right now going forward? Okay, Mike thinks Houston is in trouble. I could agree. They have fallen back quite a bit. They're barely in the wild card here. Texas is red hot. I think the Rangers are the team that's in. For me, Chad, going back to the Yankees point, yeah, almost no other team can afford to lose their ace and be a contender for the World Series. There's something to say about that. And 1,000% agree. Great point. Because I know if the Red Sox lost Crochet, toast, done. Yated Hanky, I was just going here. I hate this because Red Sox got the A's, the Rays, the Blue Jays, and the Tigers to end it. That's a tough 4-team stretch for the Red Sox to play through and stay there. I love my boys. I hope they prove me wrong. They got a big win tonight. That's tough. I think they could take care of that A's team if you can keep their bats somewhat quiet. That team can thump out there. I know they're coming into Fenway Park, which is different. But I I am worried about the Sox falling out here. And Alex Cora said something yesterday or today that he wasn't sure about October, which is not exactly what you want to hear from your manager if I'm a player. But I'm worried about the Sox falling here. The Astros did get Jordan back. Yeah, Jordan is back, Dakota. He's been back for, I think, a week and a half to 2 weeks now. But they are stumbling a little bit. However, it's still the freaking Houston Astros. And I hate that I'm saying that. It's still the Astros. They've been there. They know how to do it. Yes, they have some fresh faces in there, but you still have veterans that have been there before and have done that. Now, Houston's slide almost seems like it started when we talked about that Framber Valdez drilling his catcher in the chest protector on purpose. And you can't tell me it wasn't on purpose. He crossed his own catcher up to send a message, and it wasn't a good one. And the team seems like it's been fighting to find their identity since. So I agree. I think Houston could keep going down. But they do have veterans to pick them back up. Christian Walker has been there before. Yardon, you can never count that dude out. And as much of a, meanie pants, for lack of a better word, that Framber Valdez is, he's still a ridiculous pitcher. He's still got ridiculous talent. So I'm not counting the Astros out. For me, I hope the Sox can stay, but I think they could give it away. I really do. And Chad says Sox are trying to give it away. Roman Anthony got hurt at the wrong time. He set the table for that lineup. He stretched that lineup out. His OBP was incredible, off the charts. And you don't realize how much of a hole that lineup is without Anthony. It's tough. Yeah, the Yated Hankies have a cakewalk schedule to end it. Yeah, they showed it up at the graphic tonight, and I was like, "Yikes!" Yeah, it's easy. Their next 4 series are winnable series for them. The Yankees aren't going anywhere; they'll be there. Mariners got KC at Houston, and then the Dodgers at home to end it. So, yeah, I mean those are all winnable games for the Mariners. I think the Dodgers are the Dodgers. You don't know what you're going to get there, but they're coming into your house, so that helps. KC's out of it. There's no way. And Houston's hanging on. That Houston series is going to be a big one. That's going to be huge. So I'm buckled up and ready for that. The pitching matchup for next weekend versus Mariners is a playoff atmosphere. Yeah, it's going to be. Absolutely. Mariners and Astros next weekend is going to be lit. That will be a great series with a lot on the line. We could see some heated moments in that series, and I am here for it. Jays and Tigers might be on autopilot for the Sox. That's your only hope, I think. Maybe. Or those teams are just like, listen, we don't want this team in the playoffs. Let's knock them out now. They could view it that way. But you could hope that the Jays and Tigers have clenched and they're just like, you know what? Let's just get our rotation set. Let's get ready for the playoffs. Let's tune up some guys. Let's give some guys a couple extra days rest and go from there. So, Captain, I'm with you. Maybe that is the only hope for them. But the Tigers have been wishy-washy. So I don't know what to think of them at this moment. I still don't want to face them. I don't want to face the Jays. The Jays are red hot and have been the whole second half of the year. Well, maybe I just don't want the Sox to face anybody at this point because, I just don't think we have a great chance. I think the first round we're out. Yeah, the series with Houston for the Mariners will decide it. Yeah, that series is going to be, that might be to determine the wild card and the division winner there for sure. But yeah, Cleveland will play 500 ball and for 2 teams self-destruction to make the playoffs. Yeah. Yeah, the only hope for the Guardians to jump in is if they, go 6-4, 7-3, and you got a couple teams, the Astros and the Sox go like 1-9. Um, I think that's really the only, I don't think the math works out because, like I say all the time, I don't math. But I think that is the only chance the Guardians have is a team or two need to absolutely free fall. And they still got to leapfrog the Rangers too. I think it's just too congested up there. I don't think the Guardians quite get there. Um, but for me, if I had to pick a team to fall out and a team to come in, I unfortunately hate to say the Sox would fall out, the Rangers would jump in. Um, that hurts. That hurts to my core. But realistically, this is a baseball show. I have to tell you how it is. I think the schedule down the stretch is hard for the Sox. Can they do it? Can they beat or win the games they need to? Yes, they can. But will they? That's a different story. I'm not really sure how to go on that. So, all right. Let's. I don't trust any team. Just get in, and we will see dog eat dog. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You have to win your season right now. Like if you can't get into the playoffs, obviously you're done. But you got to win it. These next four series is very important for, I would say, Rangers, Sox, Astros. Um, I mean, Mariners too could possibly fall out, but I mean they would have to really fall out to get out of that race. But um, right now, if I had to say, it's Sox falling out, Rangers jumping in, if it changes at all. Rangers end with Cleveland. That could be interesting. Yeah, that's a great point, Mike. So if those two teams end, and they're battling for that last wild card, say Houston falls all the way out, or the Sox are already out at that point, and they're fighting for that last wild card spot, that series could be must watch. So, yeah, I mean, still a long ways to go. We got 4 series left, which is a long ways, but it's not at the same time. So, I think we got 12-ish games, 12, 13 games left each. So still some time for some things to change around. But I hope my Sox can hang on, and trying to keep the faith as much as possible, but also trying to be realistic about it. But all right. I'm going to take a drink here and then we'll switch over to the NL. All right. Here we go. The NL playoff race. So, Brewers and Phillies have already clinched. We got the Dodgers in first in the NL West. We got Cubs, Padres, and Mets. Now, here is where it gets interesting. The Giants, out of nowhere, 1.5 games back. Diamondbacks still in it somehow at 2, and the Cincinnati Reds at 2.5. I'm with a lot of people earlier in the show that said the Mets are in trouble. I think Juan Soto released a quote today, and he's just like, I don't know what else I can do. And that's not exactly the quote I want my superstar and leader of this team to kind of go out to the media with. I don't know what else I can do, or I don't know what else we can do. You can start winning ball games for one. Jonah Tong got absolutely ripped apart the other day. Didn't even get out of the first inning. I think the Mets are out. I do, and everyone's been saying it for the last months. The Mets will Met, and here they go again. The Dodgers have a tough schedule to wrap it up. I don't know. We can hope, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, I really am. I don't know. If the Dodgers didn't make the playoffs, man, what that would be wild. We were sitting here in the preseason predicting 120 wins, looking at this team on paper. Like this team could win 120. And then if they don't even make the playoffs, talk about an epic failure. Absolutely crazy. How are the D-backs still in it? Mike Reed, I I don't know. I really don't. I love my D-backs, but I haven't even been watching them much lately because the other teams that have been in it. I thought the Diamondbacks were done. They sold at the deadline. They're done. And we're competing for for a playoff spot. I I mean, what? What happened? I'm with you. And now are they kicking themselves for letting Suarez go, for letting Kelly go? I mean, they did hang on to Gallon, whatever, but you let Naylor go. Those are two huge bats in that lineup that could have made a huge difference. Um, man, I don't know. That I don't know how they're still in it. And John, that's the same thing. How are the D-backs in this thing? Reds playing 2 years ahead of schedule. Agree. But seems like we say that every year about the Reds, right? Like a couple of years ago, I think they were playing the D-backs. They start all 9 starting players were rookies. And we're just like, holy smokes, this team's going to be good in 3 years. And here we are 2 or 3 years later, and we're like, well, they're here. Like, is the talent actually going to show? Is it going to show out on the field? Is it going to show in their record? Haven't quite said that yet, but now we're saying, they're still 2 years ahead. I agree. They do have some young pieces on that, and they still have a little ways to go. And I think the Francona effect will improve that team some more. They have to keep their starting rotation healthy. That's the only way the Reds can get there. And, Hunter Green has missed a bunch of time throughout his career. The younger kids coming up, like Nick Lodolo and I think Williamson was in there. Like they had some great young arms. They got hurt. So it's all about health with the Reds too. But they do have the talent there. So interesting. Mets fall out, Giants make it. That would be wild because we were sitting here 2 weeks ago saying the same thing about the Giants. Like there's no way they get in, right? There's no way the Giants get into the playoffs. And here they are 1.5 games out. Crazy. It's crazy. Dodgers don't have a team under 500, and they have the Ends and the Phillies to end it. So, yeah, I mean, probably not 2 teams you want to see right now. But I mean, I think they have some buffer there. I don't think the Dodgers really have a threat of falling out. They're up by 2.5 on the Padres. They're up 9 on the Giants. So there's no way that the Dodgers fall completely out. So worst they do is fall into a wild card spot and the Padres leapfrog them there. But I don't think they lose 9 games here and the Giants win 9, to push them completely out. There's no possible way the Dodgers fall out of the playoffs here. But Mets falling apart are the only hope for the other teams. It's what we've been saying for a while. Their pitching has not been there. Asking these young guys that they called up to carry this weight was a hard ask. And Chad, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, you got 3 rookie pitchers in your starting rotation, and you're like, hey guys, thanks for coming. We're in a playoff race. I know you barely got your feet wet, but let's do this thing. And listen, the kids they brought up are damn good. But like you said, that is a really, really hard ask. Yeah, Reds got swept by the A's this weekend. They're done. That's a great point, Thomas. I think the Reds are toast at this point. And they have to leapfrog too many people too, or too many teams as well. So, I mean, Cubs are 5.5 games back of the Brewers, and the Reds are 16.5 back. So they are 11 games behind the Cubs. So there's no way that they can make up the ground to overtake the Cubs. They just have to be 2.5 games better than the Mets. And I don't think that they can do that and have the Giants and Diamondbacks also fall back. So I think you're right. I'm with you. I think the Reds are out of this thing. Imagine if the D-backs make it and play the Mariners in the World Series. Gino gets a ring either way. So I think he would be happy with that. But Don't piss on my Cheerios, Nick. My bad, Captain. Um, yeah, and Tito is the best manager in MLB. I don't disagree. He is definitely one of the best. I love that guy in Boston and what he brought to the team. Um, it was tough to see him go. Understood why he did or why they let him go, but it's tough for sure. We got another Mariners fan in the chat. All right, Eric, let's go. Yeah, welcome. We got a lot of Mariners fans in here, so pretty cool. But Mike, great point. Goes back to the offseason. Everyone thought the Mets would sign Fried, Burns, or Snell, and they didn't get anybody. And fantastic point on that. We thought for sure they were going to get somebody. I mean, good thing they didn't get Corbin Burns, right? I mean, for now, I mean, on the shelf with Tommy John, it looked like a lot of teams dodged that bullet. Diamondbacks unfortunately didn't, and could have used Corbin Burns down the stretch here. So that's a tough one. But you would have thought they got somebody instead of just bringing Manaea back and taking a shot on Frankie Montas. Clay Holmes worked out for most of the season. He's been okay for you. I wouldn't say Clay Holmes jumps out as, your answer in the starting rotation. But I mean, Clay Holmes is 11-8 with a 3.7. I mean, 29 games started. He has been your most consistent pitcher, I would say, all year. I mean, yeah, you probably want a little bit better than 11-8, but you really can't complain with that for what you thought you were getting. And I think Clay Holmes has done a lot better than what I even expected going into this season, not knowing what you were going to get moving him from the bullpen to the starting rotation. If the Mets don't make the playoffs, Frank the Tank will have a heart attack. 1,000% he would. Yeah, it'd be nuts. Mr. Clams is all in on the Mets, of course. But Mets need to stop metting and hang on. I think the other 5 are safe. I think so too. Yeah, and Senga's been a huge disappointment the last 2 months. Listen, I want the Mets to stay. I love the Mets. I always pull for them. I want them to hang on and stay. They gotta figure it out. And hopefully these kids can be the spark plug for them in the starting rotation. But like Chad said earlier, that is a huge ask for these kids to come on. But I want them to hang on because I do not want to see Rafael Devers in the playoffs. No, thank you. I am all set. Don't want the Giants in the playoffs whatsoever. Give me the Mets all day. Edward Harrison is in Disney right now. They're at a late show. He said he might pop on. He might not. He might just take the night. But he's on vacation with his family. So it is just me rambling on and talking with you guys here in the comments. So, yeah. But for me, I think this race comes down to it's the Mets. The only way another team gets into the playoffs is if the Mets fall out. And then the Giants or the D-backs here could pop in there, that last spot. I think I'm with Thomas. I think the Reds are done. I would love to see, selfishly see the Diamondbacks leapfrog and get in there just to be like, we sold at the deadline, but still made the playoffs and then kind of go back on that. I mean, I don't think they'll get anywhere. But I think the Mets are the team that would fall out here. I would say everybody else is safe, but who knows? Like I said, 4 series left. A lot can happen. So it will be interesting coming down these last 2 weeks. So yeah, I am excited for this home stretch, and kind of not because that means the season's almost over. But yeah, I mean, the Padres are 5 games up. Cubs are 8.5 games up in the wild card. So I think the only chance is the Mets fall out and the Giants or D-backs kind of pop in there. Padres and Cubs are pretty much clenched at this point. So I think the Mets are the only the only thing there. The D-back storyline would be really cool for sure. But yeah. Yeah, John, they're homeschooled, so they go on vacation whenever they want. So yeah, that's the flexibility there. Edward, we talked about the Red Sox a little bit ago. Unfortunately, as being a huge Red Sox fan that I am, I think they're the team that's in jeopardy to fall out of the wild card spot. Their schedule's too tough going down the stretch, and other teams are cakewalk. The Rangers are hot. Astros are a question mark. Don't know what to think about them, but they have a huge series of the Mariners. So if the Mariners go in and take care of business, I think the Red Sox will be safe. I need the Mariners to sweep the Astros, get them completely out of there. And then we can start talking about the safety of the Red Sox. But for me, I think the Red Sox could be possibly. I mean, we're only one game up in the wild card. That worries me. That worries me a lot. I don't. Well, 2 games, I would say 2.5. I don't know. Like I said, math is hard. They're 82 and 68. Rangers are 79 and 71. So maybe they're 3.5 up fully. I don't know. But I think they could. They got a tough schedule going down the stretch. It's going to be tough. But yeah. To me, playoff starts for 5 teams now. Yeah, John, you're not wrong. It's the playoffs have started. The playoffs for the playoffs has started. And they definitely, yeah. It's gonna be crazy going down the stretch. Yeah. Yeah. I try to be realistic about it. Like I as much as I want to be a homer and be like, oh yeah, Red Sox are gonna win. I'm kind of being realistic about it because the Rangers are crazy hot. Red Sox have a really hard schedule. I said Rays, Jays, A's, geez, all the rhyming words, and then the Tigers. So the A's come into Fenway. Then they got, I think they're in Tampa. And then I think at Toronto, at Detroit to end it. So it's not going to be easy. Tough. It's real tough. Do Sox have tiebreakers? Mariners have everyone but Houston with the series to decide that tiebreaker. I don't know what their tiebreakers would be. I think they have the Yankees tiebreaker. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't know about their success. I think they're pretty much split with Houston. Rangers, I think, have them beat in the tiebreaker. So that also kind of worries me. Yeah. So I think that because the Sox got demolished in the first series of the season against the Rangers, and then I think when they played them again, they didn't play well against them. So, absolutely 1,000% a sink or swim scenario, Edward. They got to put up or shut up, and it is time to put up. They can't lose these series. They got to win 2 out of 3 to secure their spot. Can they get away with a couple series at 1 and 2? Possibly, depending on what the Rangers do. But realistically, I think the Red Sox and the AL are the only team that could possibly fall out of that wild card spot. I mean, I think the Astros could too, but I just think the Rangers would be the only team that could take that final wild card spot, which means only one of those 2 teams fall out. So, we will see. But strap up because it is going to be a crazy 2 weeks, and I am here for it, just as I'm sure all of you will be. So, pretty insane. All right. Let's take a break from all of that before I let you guys come up with some scenarios at the end here. And we will get going here. So, Harrison put together some MLB missing lineups for you guys. So we have got some MLB missing lineups. Hold on. Before we get into that, great question, Edward. Do you see us keeping Alex Bregman? I don't know. I'm flat out. He's got a $40 million option. Is he going to get $40 million somewhere else? Probably not. If he gets a longer term deal from a Tigers or some other team like that, I think he could take it. Um, I think he likes it here in Boston. 40 million reasons why he likes it in Boston. He could like it another year and then opt out there. But I think he's really seeking the years and not the year-to-year contracts. And I think if a team comes and blows his socks off with a 5-6 year deal, I think we could see Alex Bregman go. If the Red Sox haven't tried to talk extension with him in, then I don't think they do. And Captain, I'm with you. I think it's up to Bregman for sure. For all the reasons I just said. I think he likes it here in Boston, but he wants job security. He doesn't want to do this year-to-year stuff. But it's going to be tough. I don't think he'll opt out this year, and that could be fair. I think he could hang on for one more year, but I don't know. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what the other teams are going to offer. He's looking for, like I said, 5 or 6 year deal. If he gets that, I think he's gone. Even if it's for lesser annual value, I think he wants the length to finish out his career. Since he didn't quite get that, at the beginning of this year. So, and yes, Chad, Tigers would give him 30 million easily, and for a long-term deal, that would be a move I see him making. And that's my worry is that it's the Tigers, for sure. And don't even get me started with Mookie. We don't even have the time for that, Edward. That will be for a different night for sure, because unbelievable. Crazy. Yeah, Tommy, your Phillies took care of business today and clinched. So happy for you, happy for the Phillies, and we will see them in the playoffs. All right, here we go. MLB missing lineups trivia. Here we go. Like I said, Harrison put these together. So if they're, tough, don't blame me. But I think you guys can get these for sure. Yeah. I tried to. Yes, Tommy. It is a green monster green. It's actually the color of the green monster for sure. I got it through Sherman Williams, and the actual name of it is Green Monster Green. All right, here we go. MLB trivia. First one. Who was missing from the 2001 Baltimore Orioles opening day lineup? In left field, we have Delino DeShields. In center, we have Melvin Mora. In right, we have Brady Anderson. Around the infield, we have Cal Ripken Jr. We have main product Mike Bordick at short, Jerry Hairston at second, this guy at first base, Brooke Fordyce behind the plate, and Pat Henkin on the mound. John Carter. Yes, sir. It is David Segui. I know it's Segui. Just kidding. Yes, and Yaden Hankey got it too. It is David Segui for sure. Nice work, fellas. Chris Davis, not a bad guess. A little early for Chris Davis. I think he was still with Texas at the beginning of all of this. So, and that was early. What was that? 2001. Yeah, I think Chris Davis was still in Texas, if he was even in the league yet. Let's see. Chris, he was in. Yeah, he didn't come up till 2008, so a little early for Chris Davis there. But yes, David Segui. All right. Here is the next one. Who's missing from the 1988 Toronto Blue Jays opening day lineup? Around the outfield, we have Lloyd Mosby in left, Sil Capusano in center, Jesse Barfield in right. We have Rance Mullenix at third, Tony Fernandez at short, Nelson Liriano at second, Fred McGriff on first, Ernie Witt behind the plate, and this guy on the mound. Yes, sir. It is indeed Jimmy Key. Nice. Yep, Jimmy Key, John Carter, Yeated Hankey. Nice job. Um, so yeah, I forgot to tell you guys this before. Harrison did this by division. So we have all AL East, and then we'll have all NL East, and then he'll go to the Central. So these are all AL East, and then the next five after the five AL East will be NL East. Dave Stewart, Dave Steves, not bad guesses, but it is indeed Jimmy Key for sure. All right. Here's the next one. Who's missing from the 1978 New York Yankees opening day lineup? We have Cliff Johnson behind the plate. We have Chris Chambliss at first, Willie Randolph at second, good old Bucky Dent at short. We have Craig Nettles at third, Reggie Jackson in right, Mickey Rivas in center, and this guy in left field. It's not Ricky. Yeah, my Seattle Mariners fans are going to be pretty upset. It is for sure Lou Piniella. Nice job, Yeated Hankey. It is Lou Piniella. Nice work. Roy White, good guess. Don Mattingly, good guess. John Carter got it. Lou Piniella. Yes, Lou Piniella is correct. All right. Here is the next one. Who's missing from the 1998 Tampa Bay Rays opening day lineup? In left, we have Mike Kelly. In center, we have good old Quentin McCracken. In right, we have Dave Martinez. Around the infield, we have Wade Boggs at third, Kevin Stalker at short. This guy. Oh, hold on. I'm going to do that one again. I forgot to take the comment around. All right. Who's missing from the 1998 Tampa Bay Rays opening day lineup? In left, we have Mike Kelly. In center, we have Quentin McCracken. In right, we have Dave Martinez. Around the infield, we have Wade Boggs at third, Kevin Stalker at short, this guy at second, Fred McGriff at first, John Flaherty behind the plate, and Wilson Alvarez on the mound. Yes, Tommy, that's what I mean for sure. Just got back to the resort. Hope you all enjoying the lineup trivia. Oh, there we go. Harrison on vacation, just got back, slacking off tonight, but we're good. I picture this guy a lot, probably on the Yankees, honestly. Not so much the Rays. Oh, Chad Edwards crushed it. It is Miguel Cairo. Nice job. Miguel Cairo is correct. Jamie Moyer. Yeah, left-handed second baseman, Jamie Moyer. Yep. Yeah, Miguel Cairo for sure. I remember him more on the Yankees for sure. But yeah, John Carter got him too. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm with you, Tommy, too. Always forget Boggs kind of ended up there with the Rays. He's definitely Red Sox and then Yankees for sure. All right, here's the next one. Who's missing from the 2020 Boston Red Sox opening day lineup? In left, we have Andrew Benintendi. In center, we have JBJ. In right, we have Kevin Pillar. Around the infield, we have Rafael Devers at third, Xander Bogaerts at short, Jose Peraza at second, this guy at first, Christian Vasquez behind the plate, and Nathan Eovaldi on the mound. This might be a tough one. Harrison, thanks you guys for keeping me company. The mouse took over the plans for today. That's funny. Hope you're having a good vacation, bud. We'll see you on Thursday. David Ortiz, great guess. Not David Ortiz. That's a That's a good guess, but not him. Smash the like button over and over if you're liking the trivia. Yes, please do. John Temple got it. Not a boy. It is Michael Chavis for sure. Yeah, he had kind of short-ish stint in Boston. But Steve Pierce was a great guess too, but not him. He didn't come until later. He played for the other four AL East teams before he ended up with the Red Sox. But yeah, it is Michael Chavis for sure. Nice job. John Temple and Chad Edwards for sure. Marlin doesn't line up. Yeah, not quite. Yeah, Michael Chavis. Nice job, guys. Yep. Michael Chavis is the correct answer. All right, we are going to flip over to the NL East here, and here we go. Who's missing from the 2006 New York Mets opening day lineup? We have Paul LaDuca behind the plate, Carlos Delgado at first, Anderson Hernandez at second, Jose Reyes at short, David Wright at third. We have Xavier Nady in right, Carlos Beltran in center, and this guy in left field. This guy I always forget was a Met. I picture him more on the Marlins. It might give it away, but nope, not Sterling. Chavis called me yesterday and tried to sell me life insurance. I don't doubt it. That's funny. Any guesses on this one? Cliff Floyd is absolutely correct, Chad Edwards. Nice job. Cliff Floyd is the correct answer. Yeah, nice work. All right. Yadid Hankey got him too. Nice job. Answers coming in now. Nice work. All right. Here is the next one. Who's missing from the 1993 Florida Marlins opening day lineup? We have Jeff Conine in left, Scott Pose in center, Junior Felix in right. Around the infield, we have Dave Magadan at third, Walt Weiss at short, Brett Barberie at second, Orestes Estrada at first, Charlie Huff on the mound, and this guy behind the dish. Yep, John Carter, right off the top. Got it. Benito Santiago. Chad Edwards, Charles Johnson's a great guess. Not quite. I think he was a little bit later. But not by much, not by a whole lot. I think he was with the Sea Dogs, I think, in 93. But Charles Johnson's a great guess. But it is Santiago. Yes, John. Both Johns got it. John Carter, John Temple. Nice job. Yep, the inaugural season for the Marlins for sure. So Charles Johnson was still in Portland, Double A, so got to see him play quite a bit in '93. But all right, here is the next one. Who's missing from the 2013 Atlanta Braves opening day lineup? We have Justin Upton and BJ Upton in left and center. We have Jason Hayward in right. We have Chris Johnson at third. Andrelton Simmons at short, this guy at second, Freddie Freeman at first, Gerald Laird behind the dish, Tim Hudson on the mound. So looking for the second baseman. Oh, whoever this Harrison Smith guy is just coming in and spitting facts. So Benito also hit the first home run in Marlins history. Nice. Yadid Hankey is correct. It is Dan Uggs. Dan Ugla. Yes. Dan Ugla is absolutely correct. Nice work. Good job. All right. We have got two more for you. Here we go. Who is missing from the 2024 Washington Nationals opening day lineup. We have Kyber Ruiz behind the dish, Joey Gallo at first, Luis Garcia Jr. at second, CJ Abrams at short. I always butcher this guy's name. Eldemaro Vargas at third, Lane Thomas in right, Eddie Rosario in center, and this guy in left. Yes, Dave, it was Dan Ugla. Nice job, John Dowd, Dan Ugla. Harrison Smith sounds like a burner account. You're not wrong, Captain. That's hilarious. Oh, man. All right, so who is in left field? And it was just last year. So come on. How's the short-term memory? Nick Senzel is not a bad guess. It's not him. That's a great guess. I don't believe he finished the season on this team, if I remember right. I think he was a deal at the deadline. And that he was. He got dealt in 2024 at the trade deadline. And if I say to who, Tommy Benson, no. This hint might give it away. He was traded to the Mets in the 2024 trade deadline. Who's this capping guy? How does he know? No, not Will Wilson, not Victor Robles. Oh, we might have stumped him. Might have stumped him here. I'll give you guys a few more seconds here, a couple more guesses each, maybe. It is. Any more? Got it, Chad. Last second. Almost flipped the screen. It is Jesse Winker for sure. Yes. Jesse Winker started with the Nationals that year, got traded to the Mets and at 2024 at the deadline. So nice job, Chad. Pulled it out last second. Almost flipped the script on you there. All right. The last one we got. Tommy Benson, you better be ready for this because this is the Phillies. Here we go. Who's missing from the 2013 Philadelphia Phillies opening day lineup? In left field, we have Dominic Brown. In center, Ben Revere. In right, we have John Mayberry. We have this guy at third base, Jimmy Rollins at short, Chase Utley at second, Ryan Howard at first, Eric Kratz behind the dish, and Cole Hamels on the mound. Who is the third baseman? No pressure, Tommy, but this one's all you. Well, first one to the trigger. Let's go. Who's got it? This one's a little bit of a thinker. Definitely don't think of this guy as a Philadelphia Philly whatsoever. Anybody at all? Chad Edwards on it tonight for sure. It is Charlie Hayes was a great guess. Not him. It's Harrison Smith. Yes. Close, not quite. It is indeed Michael Young. Michael Young is absolutely the correct answer. John Carter just got him too. Yes, Michael Young is the correct answer. I always forget about that stint in Philly. I mean, for me, it's Texas Rangers, and that's it. I mean, I don't think of him any other place. That's it. I got nothing else. He actually went to the Phillies in 2013 and went to the Dodgers as well. So must either got DFA'd or traded there. 126 games with the Phillies, 21 with the Dodgers. So that tells me he probably got DFA'd maybe. 126 is a lot of games with only 21. Yeah, he was hitting 276 with the Phillies, but I don't know. Pretty crazy. But yeah, Michael Young, nice job. Oh, Freddie Galvis actually isn't a bad guess, but yeah, only year was in Philly. Yep, just looked it up. Definitely should have known that. Yeah, it's all right, man. We all have those guys on our team, even on our own teams, that we were just like, I don't quite remember for sure. But all right. I mean, we covered a lot. I know Harrison kind of caught us there at the end, but do you all have anything else you want to bring up before we end the show for this evening? I know we covered quite a bit, the races, and these next 2 weeks of baseball are going to be incredible. I absolutely can't wait to see what happens. It's sad because that means playoffs comes, the season's over. I get that. But man, oh man, it's going to be a while down the stretch. And like we kind of said earlier, I don't know how the Giants are in it. I don't know how the Diamondbacks are still in it. I don't know how the Guardians are still in it. Like those teams have come out of nowhere for me at least. I just don't really follow those teams other than the Diamondbacks. But like I said, I've been kind of focusing other places lately that I've lost track of them because they sell at the deadline. And I'm just like I'm don't really need to follow them. They're cashing it in. They're going home, and here they are, 2 games out of the wild card spot. Man, I just it's crazy. So I don't know. My opinion, West Coast teams should not play West Coast teams within the last 3. Oh, you mean East Coast teams should not play West Coast teams in the last 2 to 3 weeks? Is that what you mean? Like to cut down on the travel? I mean, they probably try to not do that, maybe, but kind of can't help it with the kind of odd number teams in each league. But I definitely understand what you're trying to say there. Maybe try to rest guys up before the playoffs. But yeah, Michael Young was either a DFA or waiver wire trade. They called up prospects and shipped him out. Yeah, that kind of what it looked like to me too. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did see this one. Kurtz for the 493 for the grand slam. I mean, that ball cleared the center field wall and was still inclining up. I mean, I don't even think 493 was correct. That thing was absolutely tagged. Crazy. Good question, Mike. How many homers do you think Cal ends with? So, said earlier in the show, he hits 54. He ties Mickey Mantle for the most by a switch hitter in a single season. Realistically, we got 4 series left. We got 12 games. I can see 4 more homers. I think he ends with 58. I think, yeah, I think we can go 58. That's on the safe side. Now, Cal can absolutely bust a game off and hit 2 and then 2 the next day. I get it. But John says 59. I say 58. Yeah, so I mean, we're around the same ballpark. For me, 4 in the next 12 games, I think is realistic. 59 definitely could happen with him. But for me, he hits 4 in Houston. He just absolutely puts them on his back and just carries them to the playoffs. Wouldn't shock me either. Cal's a beast, and this is his year. It is the year of Cal Raleigh for sure. And then 1 on the last day of the season. Love it. I love that prediction. Go to the casino, lock it in, John Temple, because last time you didn't, you should have, and you would have been a millionaire. So, hey, Musicum, nice to see you, buddy. Welcome. Buxton hits his 30th, still needs a couple for finally a 30-30 season. Yeah, we talked about the 2020 a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now. I can't even remember, but Um, Good for Buxton finally being able to stay on the field for pretty much an entire year. I love that. Um, so we'll see. Yeah, your Mets need all the help they can get, Musicum, because they need to stop slipping. They need to start turning it around if they want to stay in the playoff hunt. I'm with you. I want to see the Mets in there. I don't really want to see the other teams that are outside in. Wouldn't mind seeing my Diamondbacks because of the story and because they sold. They pretty much sold everybody at the deadline. Still made the playoffs. That would be cool, but not at the cost of the Mets. I think the Mets are a better team at this moment than the Diamondbacks are. So I want them in the NL gauntlet for sure. Um, oh, this is a good point. The Phillies should be on the East Coast so our fans can watch their celebration of winning the NL East. Yeah, I mean, fair. I get it. However, like they don't know that going into the season. You know what I mean? They can't just be like, well, we expect the Phillies to win the NL East in LA in 2026, so let's schedule them there. Like, I mean, I get it. I think they put the schedule in an AI machine now and it just spits it out. So it's not like it's that couple that it did it for 45 years where they actually hand did every schedule. Like that's crazy to me. But yeah. Funny to pitch around Cal to get to Julio, who has the second most home runs since the All-Star break and fourth most hits in baseball. Crazy to me. Yeah. Julio's second half has been unreal. And my fantasy team is riding it. And I love it. Yeah, it's great to see Cal finally have some protection around him. I mentioned it earlier in the show. Early in the year, it was pitch around Cal. No one else is going to beat us. And somehow Cal Raleigh was still able to beat you, but that's a different story. But yeah, it's nuts. Glad that they're finally hitting. Love seeing the Mets struggle though. There's Harrison. Yeah, I mean, the Mets will Met. Said it for the last month. It's true. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber's at 52. Do you think he beats Cal? Schwarber's hard to judge for me, man, because he, can hit 5 in a game, as we saw already. He hit 4 last week in a game. So it's just he hits them in bunches. He could. I could see him leapfrog Cal because are the Astros going to actually give Cal Raleigh a chance for him to beat them in the series next weekend? I don't think the Astros pitch to Cal Raleigh. If the Phillies have already wrapped up and clenched, I think Schwarber could, just because I don't think Cal Raleigh's going to get the opportunity to. So that's my guess. Yeah. So I'm going to say I'm going to say he does. Because, like I said, I don't think Cal Raleigh sees the pitches. I think Schwarber will get pitched to. Cal Raleigh won't, especially against the Astros. So I think he'll have more opportunity to. If he does hit more than Cal, it will be by 1. I think that will be a pretty interesting race to watch for sure. So, yeah. All right. Does anybody have anything else before I head out for the evening? No? All right. Well, great show. Thank you for being there in the chat for me. I love the back and forth with you guys. I love what you bring to the show every night. I know I say it every show, but I don't think you guys really understand how much we appreciate the support. You guys coming back to join the show, talk baseball with us. Absolutely love it. Harrison will be back on Thursday. He'll be back home in Maine. We'll get him off vacation because his PTO ran out yesterday. He should have been back tonight, but he called out sick. Oh, okay, like, dude, I know where you are. You didn't have to call out. But anyways, he will be back Thursday. Yeah, and he says thanks for covering me, Nick, and thanks to the chat for being great as always. Yeah, we so appreciate you guys. So really enjoy what you bring to the show. So check out Patreon. Like I said, we are going to be doing some playoff watch parties in there. So check that out, Rounding Third Baseball on Patreon. You can join for free. You can, help support us by becoming a paid member, which comes with exclusive merchandise and exclusive content and stuff like that. So really cool platform for us to just kind of hang out, talk baseball whenever we want. So check that community out. And yeah, so yeah, you're welcome, Cap. Love hearing your dig in the background. Yeah, love that. Cody Lawyerson, main representative. Yeah, it's really cool. What was your one more thing? Oh, the Schwarber get to 58 and tie Ryan Howard and break his record. He's got to hit 6 and I mean, maybe. Like I said, I think he's going to get the opportunity to. He might fall short for me. I don't know. But again, he could hit 8 tomorrow. So possibly. But yeah. All right. So we'll see you Thursday, 9 p.m. Again, thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. Harrison will be back. Enjoy some baseball for the rest of the week, and we will see you Thursday night, 9 p.m.